Well, nothing ever runs smoothly down here. It was not available for streaming for a few minutes, but now I'm here. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to Saturday. You know, the day I look like shit, feel like shit, I want to do shit. That's it. Okay, big story yesterday. Trump got his tariffs labeled illegal. And now what you have is a mess because certain Democrats are screaming that the people should get their money back. That's not going to happen. A lot of that money's in Trump's pocket already. Come on, let's be serious. You think he does this to pay off debts and stuff? Nah, he does this to buy cheeseburgers. That's why he does this kind of stuff. That's just our good old friend, Donnie. Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to do that. What was it? There's a lot of money. It's $133 billion or something like that, depending on which article you read. Um, so that's probably a major task. I mean, how do I could see how they can do it without actually giving them people money. You can offer them tax credits. Businesses can get tax credits, and that's how they get their money back. But the people that actually need the cash back, I don't know how they're going to do that. I really, really, really don't. So, have to wait and see what happens there. Anything could happen with that stuff, the way it works. So I don't know. And there's an indication, and there has been all along, that a lot of this money is being ripped off by people. Use this payoffs for government and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't have that kind of ability to dig into things here with my computer. If I did, I'd probably been shot already. So it's probably a good idea I don't have that ability. I know what you were doing last night. That kind of stuff. You don't want me to know that stuff. Trust me. You don't want to know what I was doing last night either. So that's it. Lucy just went to sleep. I'm not sure Lucy's 100% because she sleeps a lot, but yeah, she seems happy, and that's all that matters to me. She doesn't sleep that much at night because I know she moves around a lot. But they say she's fine, so I'll take care of her, and I'm not worried about that. So long as I'm alive, she's going to be okay. And my stepson said he's going to take her, and she'll be okay if my grandson doesn't drive her insane, because that's where she's going. Either household has kids, so my grandkids. So we'll see what happens there. Oh, she always listens. What's happening? Well, we were discussing that. People are asking for their money back after the tariffs were determined to be illegal. I don't see that happening, but prices aren't going to go down. I've been around long enough to know that prices never really come down. And it's, you get this, you sit there and you say, oh, we're going to get a raise next week. And I've gotten raises like this, and the cost of living increases and stuff like this. And I know within a month or so, it's gone. It's not there anymore. Sometimes your spending habits change. Sometimes you'll just do something stupid, And I'm the one that does something stupid usually. So it's not maybe for major corporations or something like that. When they increase their profits, they're not about to cut their prices and then cut their profit margin. It just doesn't happen that way. But I don't know how these people are going to get their money back. The only way I can think of doing it, because you're not going to get checks in the mail, because that would cost more money than it's worth. Cost the government a lot of money. But I'm thinking that maybe a tax credit for next year or something like that, that might help people out. You never know, you know. Of course, people could use the cash right now, but that's usually, like I say, it doesn't. When you give them cash back, people spend it right away, and they don't spend it where they should spend it usually. So you know, it doesn't always work out that way. Now, next, you got the peace board. Has anybody looked at that peace board? Like one guy said that this morning, he said, you know, China and India aren't on that peace board, and that represents 1/3 of the population of the world in 2 countries. It's not on that thing. Uh, I don't know what's going on. I know Trump's involved in this, and Trump has absolute power on that board. Appointments, firings, hirings. He's never been happy with the United Nations because the United Nations doesn't like him. But, you know, I don't know how much power that board can actually generate. But, you know, it's a you do hear the term peace board when I talk about it, right? Yet he's massing military what? Assets off the coast of Iran to attack Iran. And that could be, depending on which way it goes, it could be a long, drawn-out thing, you know? And like people have said this, I wasn't the only one that said this. I was probably one of the first to say this, that we don't have a great record with regime changes, you know, and that's what they're trying to do there is change the regime. It doesn't always work out the way we want it to. You know, it never did in South America. It didn't work in Vietnam. It hasn't worked in other places that they've tried it, you know, so I don't see it being the end all to the situation, you know. But, you know, Donnie, you know, he wants to do it. You know, he thinks it's the right thing to do. He doesn't care what anybody says. And that's a shame because he's in a position of great power and he could do that, you know, could accomplish something, but he doesn't really want to. So anyhow, moving right along, here we go again, moving right along. I don't know what's going to happen with the peace board, but I know he wants to get rid of the United Nations because he doesn't want, you know, and he says, well, I got more than anybody else invested in according to it, we're the largest contributor to the peace board. But that's generally only one part of the world that's involved, and that's the Gulf states, basically. So I don't see anything happening there. He's going to try and pull some moves soon. He has to because he's losing everywhere else, and if he doesn't come up with some sort of PR accomplishment, then the only way he's ever going to be able to stay in office or do anything is if he uses violence, and that won't bode well for him. Be good for me because I'll get to see him dragged out in chains, you know, but won't bode well for everybody else. All right, next up, people. Trump's Arch in Washington, D.C., 250-foot tall archway, sits directly in the line of sight between Arlington Cemetery and the Lincoln Memorial. And people are suing about that. And they're suing by the fact that he can't do it without some sort of government approval. You know? And I find that interesting because he may or may not get government approval because, you know, I don't, it's got a gold Statue of Liberty on top of it. They tell me he loves gold, you know. And the thing about that is that people are going to, you know, once the when things go bad, things go back the way they were, or what did not go back the way they were, or whatever, but if things eventually go really, really bad, people are going to be stealing that gold left and right, melting it down. And that'll destroy the value of gold. Of course, gold's like $6,000 an ounce now, you know. So, but you can't own gold bars. Individuals aren't supposed to own gold bars. I don't know how you control that. Uh, I don't know anybody that has gold, but I don't know how you. Uh, how does a guy that's buying gold not be able to buy gold bars? How is it you're not able to um, sell it to jewelry stores or manufacturers or whatever? I don't understand that all at all. That's it. I got to answer. I don't know what's going on over here. Let me see. Got caps up. I take the caps off. I leave the caps on all the time because my passwords are all different. It's just easier, you know. And then I forget when I'm writing to somebody, like to just responded to my friend here, uh, and it's all capitals. Eh, eh. Um, she's basically talking about Lucy and what's happening in my world. Today's one of my youngest grandson's third birthday, and we're having a party at my house because my wife can't go anywhere. So she decided to have it here, which I don't really mind, just trying to get all my stuff together. Now I'm just going to probably end up locking myself in my office later on because it just I can't handle the screaming kids. I don't, it's the, they don't do anything about it. I mean, I don't want them to beat the child or anything like that. That's stupid. But they don't stop the kid from screaming. And then, people look at me funny the next day. What was going on in your house yesterday? Nothing, man. My kid's nuts, you know. But Lucy doesn't like it when people yell and scream and like that. She gets very upset. Will you stop doing that, please? Thank you. All right. All you do is you hurt your lip, and then I got to go put stuff on you, and you don't. I think you just like that stuff, don't you? I have medicine for her because she keeps scratching her lips and everything like that with it. And I put it on her, and she starts licking. I think that's why she scratches her lips. So I'll put the lip medication on. No, you don't. Hey, I'm watching you. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Tomorrow I don't know what I'm doing. Tomorrow I'm definitely going to try and get more carving done. I'm going to try to get some carving done today. This is a start on a moai tiki head, something like that. I'm trying to do because they're small. They're very, very simple carvings, and I can produce a lot of them very fast. And that's what I want to do. Then I can paint them in the way I want to, But yes, the heads. That's an interesting statement that I'm not sure what that means. That's all right. Every once in a while, he gets very, very cryptic, my friend. It's a little difficult to figure out what he's talking about until I study it for a while. Oh yeah, I know what he's talking about now. Because I don't remember what I said. It started the comment. All right, listen up. It's Saturday. I'm done. So my weekend is starting now. As soon as I'm off here. So you guys, Enjoy yourselves this weekend. I saw Luke is out of the Polish darts tournament, huh? Something happened. I forgot who beat him. But that's going to happen, you know. And he wasn't. I don't think he wanted to be in that win that much anyhow. And so, if his heart isn't in it, he's not going to play up to his specific, his standards. So we'll leave it like that. Anyhow, that's it for me today. Go find a subscribe button, hit it. Find a like button, hit that. Throw darts at my picture. Do whatever you want to do. I don't care. Just hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. I will be doing another video later today, but in the meantime, be good.